Hello friends, welcome to Mechanical Engineering online classes.
Till now we have been seeing what moment of forces is like, or what the net effect of a force system is like. We have found the resultants, and from resultant we found the resolutions and so on. Now for example, let us come to a point where there is something called equilibrium in the sense, despite of many forces acting on an object, the object is not changing its state or position. Now for example, there is an object or a book kept on a table. So many forces are acting on it. So many forces are acting on it, but still the book is stable. So that is called equilibrium. But mathematically, how do we define it? An object is in equilibrium, or because we are in statics now, statics means a state of rest. State of rest is statics. So because we are in statics now, I can say that if the object is at rest, no matter what forces are acting on it, then the object is under equilibrium. So what does that mean? No matter how many forces are acting on it, there is the net effect of all these forces must be zero. That is what I actually mean by it. Mathematically, is even if there are so many forces acting on an object, like for example, this object is there. There is a push force F here along the same line of action. There is another pull force. This push and push. So this is F. This is also F. Magnitudes are same. Line of action of force is same, and the directions are opposite. So the net effect is F and F are nullifying each other. The effect of this first F is nullified by the second F, or the effect of the second F is nullified by the first F, whatever it is. The sum of forces is zero. So when the resultant of all the forces is zero, the resultant is zero, so there is no external force acting on it. So the body is in equilibrium. This is one condition. Now, let us see how to make that possible. Now, for example, there are different forces. One is F1 like this, one is F2 like this, one is F3 like this. Now, how can we add F1, F2, F3? Okay, vector algebra can be always used. Total sum of force, the resultant force is equal to our F1 as a vector plus F2 as a vector plus F3 as a vector. We can use a vector algebra. Or here I can, if at all this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis, for instance, then I can write it as f1xi plus f1yj. This is for f1. So f2xi plus f2yj plus and so on. All this vector we can write it in this fashion, but we shall deal with this in detail when we talk about vectors. So that will come in the next lectures, the coming lectures. So for instance, I know to split a particular force into components. To that extent, we know perfectly. So now what I will be doing is, because I have an x and y axis, I can split this f1, one along the x axis, let this be f1x, and the other along the y axis, it is f1y. So similarly, I can split this f2 into two components, one along x and the other along y. Similarly, I can do the same with F3. This is F3y, this is F3x. So what do we mean by sum of forces being zero? The object should not slide neither along x nor y or some z or any other. That should not move at all. Means there should not be any translation along x-axis. That is possible when sum of forces along x is zero. What is sum of forces along x? If my rightward forces are positive and leftward forces are negative, my upward forces are positive and downward forces are negative. So f1x is towards right, so it is f1x. f2x is negative, this is minus 2fx, and this is minus f3x. Though this should be equal to 0. In that case, the object is not going to slide or move or translate or whatever along x direction. X direction, there is no motion, there is no change in position, means the net effect of the x components should be 0. Similarly, due to these forces, the object should not even move along y axis. Means what? Sigma fy should be also 0. So what are the fy's from this example? We have minus f1y minus f2y plus f3y. This should be 0. So the net effect of force components along x should be 0. The net effect of force components along y should be 0. In case the forces are acting in 3 dimensions. So the force, if at all the force is acting like this along z axis, that also should be 0. So sigma fz also should be equal to 0. The z component should also be 0. Sigma fz should be 0. So what we mean, f sigma fx is 0, sigma fy is 0, sigma fz is 0. So these are the conditions of equilibrium, meaning which in this particular case the object is in equilibrium. But this alone is not enough. What we are now doing is mathematically we are checking with the direction of forces and we are just finding the net effect. But there is something called moment of force also. It is possible that the object is not translating, but it is also possible the object might start rotating. Now, because suppose there is an object kept on a table like this, we are giving a force F like this, some F1. So maybe some force F2 is here. Because both of them are parallel and opposite in direction, my, if at all I am considering this axis to be x, then my sigma fx is, I can make it to 0. But is it possible that I can stop the object from rotating? No. In case f1 and f2 are equal, say this is an object, this is f and this is an f. They are parallel, equal, opposite. There is a distance d between them. But this is the case where the object may start to rotate due to these forces. The sum of forces along the direction is 0, but that doesn't guarantee or ensure that the rotational effect is 0. In this particular example, this is forming a couple. Couple is nothing but a special case of force system where two forces are of equal magnitude, opposite in direction, and the line of action of forces are a distance apart. So due to which the object will start rotating. So that is called as couple. So that force system is called as couple, and the rotational tendency or the effect of this force to rotate an object is called as moment of couple. This is nothing but the moment created due to couple. Alright. So in the previous case, here just say for this particular example, just saying that sigma f should be 0 for the equilibrium to exist is not enough. Sigma m should also be equal to 0. When these two conditions are satisfied, only then the object is said to be in equilibrium. So these are the two conditions of equilibrium. If even one condition fails, and under sigma f we have several sigma fx, sigma fy, and you can find f along any direction, right? And you can find moment about any point also. So if the net moment about any point is 0 and the net force effect along any direction is 0, only then the object is considered to be in equilibrium, otherwise no. Rotation always does not happen only due to couple. If at all it is happening due to couple, we call it as moment of couple. If it is happening due to a force system, a general force system, then we call it a moment of force, which we have already seen. Then now let us see what moment of couple is. How do we find
these
this
two
moment of
opposite
couple?
forces are parallel to
Moment
each
of
other.
couple is
They are
given
apart by a
as
distance d.
then the moment of couple or simply couple is given by the product of one of the forces multiplied by the perpendicular distance between them. This perpendicular distance d is called as arm of couple or couple arm. So this is special case of parallel forces that will produce rotary effect on a rigid body. So couple is a special case of force system where couple is two non-collinear parallel forces of equal magnitude and in opposite direction, this form a couple. So this is a special case of parallel forces that will produce rotary effect on a rigid body. So whose value is given as, say, when two forces of equal magnitude are acting opposite to each other and are parallel to each other, then they tend to rotate the object. Suppose this is an object on which couple is acting. So this force will try to tend to move the object in this direction, clockwise direction. So because this F is there, this is also producing a clockwise moment. So because there is no other force that is nullifying these clockwise moments, they together constitute a couple and they will tend to rotate this object in clockwise direction. That value is given as one of the forces multiplied by the perpendicular distance between them, which is the couple arm or arm of the couple. This is D. If this particular distance between the two forces is D, then moment of couple is given by F into D, and the units are same, Newton meter. So this is no very different from the moment of force and moment of couple. They'll have the same units, as it is already said that if the moment of the rotary effect is due to a force or a force system, naturally if it is due to a force system, there comes a resultant with it, and if the moment or rotation is due to that force, then it is called moment of force. But if it is due to a couple, that is called moment of couple. Ultimately what is the result is the object tends to rotate. The tendency of this rotation is calculated as force into the perpendicular distance. So let us look at the properties of couple. If at all there is an object on which is subjected to a couple, say this is subjected to two parallel equal and opposite forces on the upper plane of its of the circular disc. So the object will try to rotate because the forces are like this. The direction will be in anti-clockwise direction for the given example. So this object will tend to rotate in anti-clockwise direction about an axis that is perpendicular to the plane containing the two forces. So if there is a body like this, the couple is here on the upper surface of the cuboid, then the rotation will happen in clockwise direction. The rotation is happening about an axis that is perpendicular to the plane containing the couple. So that is the first property. The second property is that the resultant force of a couple system is zero. So while talking about equilibrium and the conditions of equilibrium, we have discussed this. The resultant force is zero, but the resultant is not zero. The resultant is a couple. Suppose an object is subjected to these two forces. So these two forces are having a tendency to rotate the body in anti-clockwise direction from the given example. But if at all I want to name this axis as x, say this is F and F. So there are no forces along y direction, so they are zero. There are no forces along z direction, so this is also zero. And along x, so we have an F and minus F. So if I am assuming that the rightward force is positive and the leftward force is negative, then F minus F is 0. But the resultant is still there. The resultant is a couple, which is F into this D. So the resultant force of a couple system is 0. So this is another point that we have to remember. Then the third point is a couple is capable of rotating the body. it is not capable of translating the body. Translating the body means, for example, the push and pull things that we have discussed before. An object is placed, suppose a book is placed on a table, I am giving a force F here. Now this particular, if at all there is a resultant, because of this F, if I am assuming the object is moving rightward, say, so after some time t, this object is translated by a distance, say x. This is the translation. But when we have a couple, this is F, this is F. This is trying, this particular force will try to tip this object about this point, and this particular force will try to tip this object at this point. So eventually the rotation will happen. So a couple, this F and F is a force system which is forming a couple, two parallel, equal and opposite forces. So a couple can rotate the body, but the translation is not possible because the two forces are doing their part only to rotate the object. That is the third property. Then we can, like how we have found the sum of moments of all the forces to find the total moment of the force system on an object. So here also we can do that. Now suppose there is an object here. So this is subjected to, say, F1 and F1, they are parallel, equal, opposite, they are d1 distance apart. There is another couple which is, say, F2 and F2, which is again equal, parallel and at a distance, say, d2 apart, which are opposite in direction. Now there is, say, another couple acting. This is F3, F3, this distance is d3. So there are three couples. So this F couple due to F1 and F1 will tend to rotate the object in clockwise direction. So there is a F1 D1 couple acting on the object. Then F2, because of the couple F2, there is another couple that is acting on the object, which is again in clockwise direction only. Value is F2 D2. And there is a couple due to F3 and F3. So this F3 and F3 couple are tending to rotate the object in anti-clockwise direction. So this value is F3 D3. Now F1 D1 is one couple, F2 D2 is another couple. Both the couples are acting in the same direction, so the body is having a tendency to rotate in clockwise direction by both the couples. One is F1 D1 and other is F2 D2. Because they both are acting in the same direction, there is a resultant couple which is acting in clockwise direction, F1 D1 plus F2 D2. There is another couple which is acting in opposite direction to this, which is F3 D3. So what is the net couple? The net couple is, again we have to go by convention. If I use the RHT rule, right hand thumb rule, again to me the anti-clockwise, sorry, this is anti-clockwise. So by RHT, my anti-clockwise couples are positive and clockwise couples are negative. So the net couple will be F3 D3 minus F1 D1 minus F2 D2. So using proper sign convention, you can add the moment of couples. This is the fourth point. Then the fifth property is, a system whose resultant is a couple can be brought to equilibrium state only by another couple of same magnitude that is acting in opposite direction. Now for example, there are many couples and many forces acting on an object. Ultimately the resultant is that there is a couple C, say C1. Couple is C1, which is a resultant. So if at all, so that body has got a tendency to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. So if at all I want to bring it to equilibrium, then I have to add another couple which is with the same magnitude as that of C1, but it should be acting in opposite direction. It is just like I have an F. So this F and F couple is producing a couple C1 say. So I have to use another F and F that will give a rotation effect in opposite direction. So ultimately both the things get nullified. This is F1, this is F again, this is F. So this is D. So you actually, how we can do is a different story. Like you can have FD is equal to C1. So you can use a different force and different distance between the forces. Ultimately, the couple that we are using to bring the system into equilibrium should be equal to the product of F and F into D. So you can increase F and you can decrease D such that the product is still C1, or you can reduce F and you can increase D such that the product is still C1. There is no hard and fast rule that F should be nullified by another F in the same. We don't need to make collinear forces. We don't have to nullify them as sigma F. We can simply nullify it as sigma C also. F into D, which is C1, should be nullified. So how you change this F and how you change this D depends on our requirement and possibility. Ultimately, you have to give a C that is nullifying the already existing C. If at all we want to bring the system to equilibrium, if it is subjected to a resultant couple C. Now let's see the sixth point. A couple cannot be replaced by a single force naturally. If at all there is a force F here, another force is F here. So there is no single force that can replace the couple. The reason here is mathematical also it is not possible. The reason here is this couple is having a tendency to rotate the object, and in the previous property while I was telling you that the couple cannot translate the body, a single force can translate the body. So the single force can translate a body. So a single force can replace a couple only when that single force is capable enough to rotate the body. The effects are different. This is a couple where the couple is tending to rotate the object. This is only a single force and it can only translate the body. So which can translate that cannot rotate, and which is rotating that cannot be translated. So a couple can rotate the object, it cannot translate. Similarly, a single force can translate, it cannot rotate. So that's the reason why a couple cannot be replaced by a single force. And that is the reason why a system whose resultant is a couple can be brought to equilibrium only by applying another couple of same magnitude in opposite direction. We cannot replace it by a force. Otherwise, why should an equilibriant couple is needed? If couple can be replaced by single force, then this fifth point, we don't need to talk about this fifth point. Fifth point clearly says that a system whose resultant is couple comes to equilibrium only when another couple of same magnitude and opposite direction is acted upon onto an object. So it is because of this reason. So as said, a couple can't be replaced by a single force. Let us see if a single force can be replaced by a force couple system. Now for example, there is an object on which a force is acting. Say this is a point A through which the force is acting. Now let us see if we can convert this into a force couple system. I want a couple to be acted at some point B, for example. This is point B. So whose perpendicular direction, whose perpendicular distance from F is say D. Now what we can do is, without changing the effect of the system, this is point A through which F is acting, this is point B. So parallel to force F, I am applying two equal, opposite and collinear forces. So literally this should mean that this F and this F gets cancelled and the effect is same as that of the original system. So here I can apply F and F that are whose lines of action of forces are parallel to the original F and they are collinear, so their net effect of translation is 0. But now if I want to carefully look at the initial F which is acting rightward from A to the force F that is acting leftward to B, they together constitute a couple. This force and this force constitute a couple. So this is the object. So F and F, I can, so this F is there, from B there is a force F and a couple which is equal to F into D, because the distance between these two, a line passing through A and line passing through B is D. So the couple that is due to F and F, due to this system, is FD. So I can say that this object is now having a couple with the direction clockwise. So with a clockwise couple of value FD, we have converted a single force system into a couple and a force system. So one, if at all there is a single force, we are able to convert that into or replace that into a couple and a force system. So now let us see if we can replace a force couple system into a single force. Couple cannot be replaced into a single force, but let us see if a force couple system can be replaced by a single force. So here the force couple system is, there's a force acting in the shown direction and there's a couple or moment that is it is shown acting about A. So now just like in the previous case, from force we have converted a force to a force couple system. Here we are trying to do the reverse of it. So what I can do is, this is the object. Now the given force which is passing through A in the given direction is, I just noted it as it is. Now I want to convert this couple, I want to show this couple as set of two forces. Only then I can I can convert, right? So because it is shown from the figure that this particular couple is acting in anti-clockwise direction. So I have to take two forces that will make an anti-clockwise couple. So anti-clockwise couple means one force should be like this, one force should be like this. So if at all I am drawing lines from their from tip of one arrow to the tail of the other, the direction will be the direction of couple. So here I have to convert the couple into a couple force system into a force. So I have to see that one of the ultimately only one force should be left and the couple should not be there. So what I am doing, I am trying to nullify this F using one of the forces in this couple. So how can I nullify this F? Because this F is acting rightward. So I will be drawing, I'll be giving a force which is exactly collinear to the F and with the same magnitude opposite in direction. So this F and F gets nullified. But this is only part of couple. I have to draw another F which is parallel, equal and opposite to this particular F. So how do I know what distance it is? Because it is given that the couple value is M and I know that I am using force F into D. This is the formula. So this force is the same force that I am using because I have to nullify this force and this force. So I must be taking the same magnitude of forces. I can find this D. D is equal to the given couple divided by the given force F. So from here I will be measuring a perpendicular distance D. Somewhere point B is here. I am drawing a line parallel to the line of action of force which is shown through A. So this force, so this force is already existing force which is this one. This force is a force part of couple. This particular force is part of couple. So because this force is acting leftward, so parallel to it, equal and opposite, I have to give another force. So this F and this F put together will be make our M. So M is replaced by these couple F and F. So now if at all we want to simplify this system further, along A there was an F, there's an F and F, both get cancelled. So this is point A. So at a distance D from A, there is a force F acting through B. So I can simply write this as a force acting at point B, which is say at a perpendicular distance D from A. So this particular figure, which is a force couple system, is replaced or converted to into a single force system, this one. But the thing is, the force which was once passing through A is now passing through B, and the distance is found like this from here. So here we have learned how to shift a force to a parallel line by making it a force couple system, the previous case. Yeah, this one. And we have also seen how to replace a force couple system into a single force. The very important property of a couple is here. Couple is a pure turning moment which is always constant. It may be moved anywhere in its own plane on a body without changing the effect of it on the body. So there's a body like this. We are giving two forces F1 and F1. They are equal, parallel, opposite in direction at a distance at d1 apart. So this just means that because these forces are tending to rotate the body in clockwise direction, I'm just writing them as C1, which is nothing but F1 into d1. This C1 is equal to F1 d1. Now the tendency of these two forces F1 and F1 acting d1 apart, d1 distance apart, is to rotate the object in clockwise direction, and the tendency of the rotation is measured by F1 and d1. Now, for that matter, the result is only rotation of body, and to what extent the value is F1 d1. I can give two forces F2 and F2 which are d2 distance apart, and here also the object is same. I am using the same object. So F2 and F2, they are d2 apart. So these F2 and F2 which are d2 apart are also having the same tendency of rotating the body in clockwise direction only. If this F2 into d2 is exactly equal to the value C1, it doesn't really matter whether you are giving F1 or F2 or the distances are d1 or d2. So I am having the same C1, and for that matter, it is really of no use for us or meaning to us where this F1 is acting and where this F2 is acting. All that matters to us here is that it is the force that is F1 and F1 is at d1. Or in the second case, it is the force that is F2 and F2 distance is d2. Ultimately, C1 is equal to F1 d1 is equal to F2 d2 is equal to, I can make any such combinations of F and D. So long as the direction is not changing, so long as the magnitude is not changing, the effect is not changing. And here, while we are finding C1, it is really not a botheration for us whether F1 is acting through point A. Or for the same object, I can take F1 and F1 here also. This is acting through B. They are again at a distance D, D1 say. So again, this is the same couple, C1, which is F1 into D1. So the couple, the resultant of a couple, or the couple itself, the moment of couple, really doesn't matter whether it is acting at one corner of the body or the other corner of the body or in the middle of the body or anything. The plane should be same. As long as the plane on which the couple is acting is not changing, as long as the product F1 and D1 is not changing, the effect is not changing. So that is what the point here means. The couple is a pure turning moment which is always constant. So the couple can be moved anywhere on the same plane where it is acting without changing the effect of the couple on the body. So when I can move this couple anywhere on the body and the effect is not changing, it is because of this reason that A couple is called as a free vector. So this is a very important property of a couple. So let us try to see whether couple is a free vector or not using this example. So there is an object AD, and we have just noted a few points on AD: A, B, C and D. A to B distance is 1.5 meter, B to C is 2 meter, C to D is 2.5 meter, and at A there is a 40 Newton force acting vertically downward, and at B there is a 40 Newton force acting vertically upward. So both of this 14 Newton force and 40 Newton force that is acting through A and B is a couple. So this 40 Newton force is a couple that whose distance is 1.5 meter. So let us try to find the moment of couple. Moment of couple is nothing but force into the perpendicular distance, one of the force into the arm of couple. One of the force is 40 Newton and the distance between them is 1.5 meter. So this is 60 Newton meter. So now let us see if the couple here is 60 Newton meter. So let us see whether finding the sum of moments of these forces about any other point should also be the same. Like, let us try to find the sum of moments of these forces about point A. So it will be this 40 Newton force is passing through A. The moment of 40 Newton force through A is 0, 40 into 0. And the second 40 Newton force that is acting vertically upward will make a anti-clockwise moment. So anti-clockwise moment to me is positive, so it is 40 into the distance is 1.5. So this is 60 Newton meter. So the couple is also making an anti-clockwise direction. So the sum of moments of all the forces acting on the system is also 60 Newton meter anti-clockwise. So let us find the sum of all moments about point B. So now this 40 Newton force is making an anti-clockwise moment. It is 40 into 1.5, and the second 40 Newton force, this is passing through B, so it will make a 40 into 0 moment about B. So this is again 60 Newton meter anti-clockwise. Similarly, let us find the moment of this couple system about C. So this 40 Newton force acting vertically down, it is making an anti-clockwise moment about C. It is 40 into 1.5 plus 2 meter, and this B, the force through B is making a moment about C in clockwise direction. So this will be minus 40 into 2. So this is again nothing but 40 into 1.5, that is 60 Newton meter in anti-clockwise direction. Now if we see the moment about point D, sum of moments of all the forces about point D. So this about through A there is a 40 Newton force acting downward, so that is making an anti-clockwise moment about D. So that is 40 into A to D distance is 1.5 plus 2 plus 2.5, and through B there is a 40 Newton force acting upward. About D it will make a clockwise moment. So clockwise moment to me is negative. So it is minus force is 40. 40 into the distance between B and D is 2 plus 2.5. So this is nothing but 40 into 1.5 again, which is 60 Newton meter in anti-clockwise direction. So no, for that matter, you can take any number of points anywhere, or you can take a plane on this particular on the plane of the forces. You pick any point, try to find the sum of moments of these two forces about any point. Infinite points exist, and no matter what, sum of moment of these two forces about any point on that particular plane will be 60 Newton meter. So this is a proof that a couple is a free vector. Now let us see what happens with moment of force, why it is not like that. Now in this particular case I am taking some object. This is some point A, say there's a force acting here. If at all I want to find the moment of this force about point A, so let this be, say, distance some d1. So the moment of this force F about point A is, it is in anti-clockwise direction and the value is F into d1 in anti-clockwise direction. Now if I find the moment of this force about some other point, say another point here, which is again at the same distance, say d1 only. So here the moment will be F into d1 but in opposite sense, about some, this be point B. So even if the force is not changing and even if the distance is not changing, if at all you are finding the moment about a different point, the sense is changing. If the sense is changing means the resultant and the effect is changing. The effect of the force or the effect of this force creating a moment. Moment is the turning effect. So that effect is changing. Body rotating in clockwise direction is different from the body rotating in anti-clockwise direction. So they will give different effects. So this is, but that is not happening in case of a couple. So that this is a proof of that. So it is free from the point about which we are trying to find the moment. No matter about what point you find the moment, the sum of moments of a couple system, the value, the magnet, neither the magnitude changes nor the direction changes. That's the reason it is called as a free vector. Therefore, we can conclude that a couple will not have a moment center like how moment of force will have a moment center. So moment center is not there for a couple because it is independent of any point on the plane where the couple is acting. So couple does not have a moment center. So this is a very important conclusion. But moment of force will definitely have a moment center. We have seen it here. So here ends the properties of couples. Let us do some problems. So here's a question. Replace 3000 Newton force that is acting from A by an equivalent force couple at B. So we have to replace this force into a force couple system. But we have seen in property number 6, we did this. So now I have to first find the value of couple, the moment. So here is B, here is A. So this is 4 meter, this is 2 meter. I am just trying to resolve this 300 Newton force into horizontal and vertical components. So I am trying to resolve this 3000 Newton force that is acting at 30 degrees from horizontal into two components, horizontal and vertical. So the horizontal component will become 3000 cos 30 degrees and the vertical component is 3000 sin 30 degrees. So now we can find the couple as the sum of moments of these two forces about point P because we have to replace that at B. So I'm finding the moments of these forces about B. So this horizontal force is making a clockwise moment about B. So it is 3000 cos 30 into the perpendicular distance is 2 meter. So because it is clockwise, my convention is it is negative. And now the vertical force is 3000 sin 30. So I am just traveling along the line of action of force towards B. So that will give the direction of the moment. So here the direction of moment is anti-clockwise. So to me anti-clockwise is positive. So the value of that moment is force 3000 sin 30 multiplied by perpendicular distance. Perpendicular distance is this one, which is 4. It is 4. So on solving this, we get 803.85 Newton meter. because it has come out to be positive, so it means that the couple or the sum of moments is in anti-clockwise direction. So we have to replace the force system into a force couple system. I'm writing the 3000 Newton force that is given as it is. Now because uh, the couple value is also in the direction is anti-clockwise, so the anti-clockwise direction means it should be like this. So I have to shift this 3000 Newton here at point B. So I have to nullify this particular force. So I will be continuing this line along the same line of action of force as that of the given 3000, and the value of the applied force here is also 3000. Now this particular part of the couple is already taken down here. Now this particular force I have to show here. This is again the 3000 Newton force, which is parallel to the given 3000 Newton force. Only then this 3000 and this 3000 together will form the couple of value 803.85. So I am just this is nullified, and because there is a couple 3000 Newton and 3000 Newton, I am showing that 3000 Newton and 3000 Newton couple here, whose value is 803.85 and it is in the anti-clockwise direction. So we have converted the given force system into a force and couple system. So here completes our answer. Try to solve these problems. Put the answers in either the comments below or on our Insta, Miyok_official. This is the first question where an object is subjected to several force systems and couples. You should find the resultant of this. And the next question is to resolve the force F. This is force F at B into a force and a couple system at O.
Thanks for watching. If this video was of help to you, please like it and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.